The U.S. Navy wasn't quite this bad, but at its founding it was pretty close. Hello, and thank you for joining us at 8 Minutes. Today we will be covering the history of the U.S. Navy from its foundation to the present day, 1815. After shipping's colonial years, a foundation of naval technology and networks was laid, so that on October 13, 1775, a naval war force was officially established with the commission of 2 warships.
The United States Navy! Really? Really? Is that it? 2 ships?
Yes, that's it.
The fleet was soon expanded to several ships, which began a tradition of raiding non-essential targets. A job that was better left to thousands of privateers, or legal pirates, who disrupted British shipping. What the Navy should have been doing was providing support to Washington's land units, which had to make do with whatever small ships they could find. The man who turned the Navy in the right direction was John Paul Jones, who gave the Navy a tradition of heroism. We're very fortunate to have him here today on leave from his activities in Europe.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for being here tonight.
Thank you for taking time out of your lives to recognize my greatness.
Okay. Mr. Jones, what was your role in the war?
I was the most bloody, effulgent, courageous, and talented captain in that bloody war.
I had the privilege of witnessing your famous battle with the Serapis, which was a tremendous morale boost to the American forces, and we have some footage here tonight. Ah! I'm totally freaking out! Oh, no! Yeah. Not my best moment. Anyways, could you tell us more about the battle?
I was leading a squadron in my piece of crap, the Bonhomme Richard, when I noticed the British Serapis. I signaled my squadron to attack, but the traitorous wretches refused to fight. Outgunned, I was forced to sail to close range with the enemy ship. After 3 hours, the damn British demanded my surrender, to which I heroically proclaimed, "I have not yet begun to fight."
Mr. Jones, please sit down.
We won the battle when one of my men dropped a grenade onto the British gun deck, igniting their powder and blowing those bloody bastards.
Okay, that's all we have for now. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you here again.
Wait, don't you want to hear about my other heroic exploits and my plans for the future?
Maybe another time.
But I just signed a gig with Catherine the Great in Russia. We're going to be fighting Turks on the Black Sea.
Due to time constraints, we must move on with our program.
Or I could tell you about that one time in the West Indies when I killed a man.
Despite being a newborn force going up against the greatest naval power on Earth, the U.S. Navy was able to aid the nation in its pursuit of freedom. It once again rose to prominence in 1801 with the Barbary Wars.
By this year, the tension between sailors and the northern African states had heightened significantly. Since a failed attempt at a peace treaty had put the states $14 million in debt to the pirates, the American merchant economy and security was put into grave danger. Alexander Hamilton took note of the capture and enslavement of American merchants and wanted the pirates imprisoned and castigated, whereas Thomas Jefferson opposed any expenses on foreign empires. But on May 14, 1801, the battle would hit home as the American flagpole in Tripoli was toppled. The traditional declaration of war. Here to share with us some more information is Pasha Yusuf Karamanli of Libya.
Hello, Pasha Yusuf. Thank you for joining us today.
Ahoy, matey.
Now, your country isn't one of the most powerful in the world. Why do you believe you were still able to frighten many European nations and America?
Well, to British and to Americans, we're on buckoley terms, if you know what I mean. The British actually encouraged us in our looting, probably to disrupt American trading.
Now, there are stories of a United States sweep across Egypt in order to recruit an army of Americans, Europeans, and Arabs to protect their trade. How did this affect the dynamics of your occupation?
Well, I hate to shout it, but we were a bit frightened. We were only concerned about making a living.
By enslaving innocent sailors?
Anyways, 400 men united against us to overturn our sea trade. However, as we predicted, they trembled as they marched in our direction.
Did you also predict your loss in 1805 at the Battle of Derna?
Not exactly. The American forces had the support of the U.S. Marines, but they shouldn't have been a match for the Barbary Sea Force.
And why did you also disregard the peace treaty made in 1806 by continuing your piracy?
Simple. The Quran commands that anyone who feels that we are not superior to them must be imprisoned. Any Muslim who dies in battle for this reason will return to paradise.
Oh, I can tell that's gonna lead to good times. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
At the start of our nation's most recent struggle, the War of 1812, the U.S. Navy consisted of a meager 16 warships, as opposed to the British, who had 85 in U.S. waters when war began. This was not even 1/5 of their total Navy size. Many of the U.S. naval officers had served in the Quasi and Barbary Wars, so they had some battle experience. The United States won a few small one-on-one naval battles to start the war, boosting their confidence. One of the most famous of these one-on-one battles was between the USS Constitution and the HMS Guerre on August 19, 1812. The Constitution engaged in a hard-fought battle with the Guerre, eventually forcing it to surrender, but the greatest U.S. naval victory in the war came on the waters of Lake Erie, when they successfully routed the British on September 10, 1813. The man who led this great victory was Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry.
We are now joined by Commodore Oliver Perry via telegraph. Hello, Commodore Perry.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the Battle of Lake Erie?
After the failed invasion of Canada, the British had taken control of Lake Erie. In early 1813, when I was only 26 years old, I was chosen by my superiors to formulate an attack to retake Lake Erie. By August 1813, we had ships ready for war. The battle officially began on the morning of September 10th, 1813, when the British advanced on us. We took some heavy fire at first.
What was the winning strategy you employed?
With the other ships behind me, I managed to navigate the Niagara between 6 British ships, 3 on each side of me. We then fired everything we had at the British ships, and they took very heavy losses. By 4 o'clock that afternoon, every British ship had either surrendered or tried to run away, and the ones that ran away we caught. Our victory brought Americans hope and confidence, and brought stability to the Great Lakes region.
Thank you for your time, Commodore.
No problem. My pleasure.
There's no doubt that at the end of the war, the United States had a powerful navy. From its humble origins, it grew into a legitimate one in only 15 years. We'll see you next time on 8 Minutes. A naval war force was established with... God damn it. There's no doubt that at the end of the war, the United States... I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Igniting their powder and blowing the bloody bastards.
Brian, come on! Come on, it's recording!
Yeah, I can see that. You can edit this little exchange out. The only one here.
Okay, go.
I am the only one here, right? He didn't. Jesus?
Yeah.
Exactly.
When Peter attacked, and he's like, "No, we must not do that."
See? Muhammad did do that.
I'm going to feel his ear, too.
Muhammad did do that.
Go.
Wait, where am I starting from?
I don't know, just pick the
By
last line.
enslaving innocent sailors?
No, not from there.
Like, you're totally...
No.